Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that could be worth big money, way more than its face value of 25 cents. I'm talking about the 1997 quarter dollar, which, if you have the right one, could be worth an eye-popping $70 million. That's right, the seemingly ordinary coin could make you a fortune. Stick around because we're going to explore the incredible history and the mystery of how this coin went from a humble quarter to one that could be worth millions. Let's start with the basics. The 1997 quarter dollar was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why you see the P Mint mark on the coin. Now, if you're familiar with U.S. coinage, you know that this quarter is part of the traditional Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The front side features George Washington's portrait, and the reverse side shows a bald eagle, both classic and well-known symbols of the United States. But what makes the 1997 quarter stand out from the rest? Well, it's not just about the design, it's about the rarity, the condition of the coin, and minting errors that can drive its value up to incredible amounts. To truly understand the importance of the 1997 quarter dollar, we need a bit of context. The U.S. Mint was gearing up for the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which would go on to be one of the most popular and successful coin programs in American history. This program celebrated each of the 50 states by issuing a new quarter design for each state. But before the excitement of state-themed coins, the 1997 quarter was one of the final regular issue coins from the classic Washington quarter design. In a way, the 1997 quarter represents the last of its kind before the coinage landscape was transformed by the state-specific designs. While it wasn't part of the state series, its timing placed it in a unique spot in U.S. Mint history. So, why on earth would a quarter from 1997 be worth a mind-blowing $70 million? Well, the thing is, most 1997 quarters you find are worth just 25 cents. However, rare minting errors in coins in perfect condition can drive up their value exponentially. Coins like these can fetch much higher prices, especially when graded at the highest level. Let's talk about some of those minting errors. Rare coins that have misprints or mistakes in the design process can be extremely valuable. For example, you might find a coin with a double strike, where the image on the coin is duplicated because the coin was struck twice. Another common error is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't aligned properly when it was struck. These types of errors can make a coin worth thousands, or even millions of dollars, depending on the rarity and condition. Now, let's look at some historic error coins that have made headlines and sold for millions. For instance, the 1913 Liberty Head nickel is considered one of the rarest U.S. coins in existence. Only 5 of these coins are known to exist, and one sold for over $4.5 million in 2018. Similarly, the 1955 double-die penny, which features a doubled image of Abraham Lincoln, can fetch $100,000 or more depending on its grade. As you can see, when a coin has a significant minting error, the value can skyrocket. So, while we haven't seen a 1997 quarter hit the $70 million mark yet, there's always a possibility if an extremely rare error were to be discovered. Now, if you're wondering how to spot a valuable 1997 quarter, it's all about carefully examining the coin for those minting errors we just discussed. Here are some key things to look for: a double strikes. The doubled image of the design could indicate that the coin was struck twice, which can make it incredibly valuable. Off-center strikes. If the image is misaligned and part of the design is missing, this is a rare error that could make the coin highly desirable to collectors. Die cracks. Sometimes, cracks form in the die that strikes the coins, creating unique patterns on the coin's surface. If these cracks appear in noticeable places, they could increase the coin's value. These subtle but significant differences can be the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one that could potentially be worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Another important factor in determining the value of your 1997 P quarter is coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. A 1997 P quarter that's in mint condition, meaning it has no scratches, no signs of wear, and no visible imperfections, could be worth significantly more than a coin that shows signs of age and use. Coins that are graded 65 or higher, known as gem quality, are especially valuable. If you have a 1997 P quarter that's graded as MS67 or higher, it's likely to be worth a lot more than its face value. Now, if you're wondering where you can buy or sell these valuable quarters, there are several places to look. You can check out coin shops, online auction platforms, and even specialized dealers who focus on rare coins. Just make sure you're dealing with reputable professionals who can help you authenticate and grade your coin properly. So, there you have it. While the 1997 P quarter dollar might look like a regular coin, the reality is that it could hold incredible value depending on its condition and any rare errors it might contain. While we haven't yet seen one hit $70 million, it's always exciting to think that a simple quarter could be hiding a huge fortune. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1997 P quarter dollar, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another exciting coin discovery. Happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Next, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have an absolutely mind-boggling topic that will make you think twice about those quarters sitting in your pocket. We're talking about the 1989 D quarter dollar, the one that's supposed to be worth just 25 cents. But here's the twist, this coin could actually be worth up to $220 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around because in this video, we're diving into the insane value, history, and mystery behind this quarter that's making waves in the world of coin collecting. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the big reveal, let's start with the basics. The 1989 D quarter is just like any other quarter you've probably come across in your pocket. It was minted at the Denver Mint, and the D you see on the coin stands for Denver, where it was produced. The obverse side features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, you have the classic image of an eagle perched on a branch, which has been part of the quarter's design since 1932. Now, the Denver Mint produced around 600 million 1989 D quarters, so on the surface, this coin seems pretty common, right? I mean, most of them are still in circulation today, and you could easily find one for face value, just 25 cents. But here's the catch, there's something about the 1989 D quarter that could make it worth far, far more than that. Stick with me, and let's uncover the secret. So, what's the big deal with the 1989 D quarter? Well, just like in many stories of rare coins, the value comes down to one thing, rarity. But it's not about a rare minting date or a limited release. There's a specific error that occurred during the production of the 1989 D quarter, and when we talk about error coins, that's where things get really interesting. The 1989 D quarter in question has an incredibly rare and valuable misstrike, one that involves an off-center die error. This happens when the die used to strike the design on the coin is misaligned, which causes the images on the coin to be stamped incorrectly. In most cases, this means that part of the coin's design is either cut off, misplaced, or partially missing, making the coin one of a kind. But what makes this particular error so rare is that only a handful of these misaligned 1989 D quarters are thought to exist, and it's these few coins that can fetch an insane price up to $220 million. So, how does a simple coin like the 1989 D quarter go from being worth 25 cents to a whopping $220 million? That's where things get really intriguing. You see, when it comes to error coins, their value is primarily driven by rarity, but also by demand from collectors. These off-center die error coins are extremely difficult to find, which automatically drives up the price, a single 1989 D quarter with an off-center strike was found and was auctioned off at a major coin auction. It sold for millions of dollars, and the price was so high because of how rare and unique it was. Coins like this don't come around every day. In fact, it's believed that only a handful of these error coins were ever struck, so if you find one of these in your collection, you could have a ticket to an extraordinary payday, and it's not just any error that makes these coins valuable. The way the design is misaligned can drastically increase its value. The more severe the misalignment, the higher the price. Some of these coins have been graded as near mint condition, even though they have a flaw. It's the rarity of the error combined with the high demand that's pushing the value of this coin sky high. Now, let's take a step back and talk about the 1989 D quarter from a historical perspective. The year 1989 was a significant one for the United States. The country was in the middle of an economic boom, and the quarter of that year symbolized the nation's stability and progress. President George H.W. Bush was in office, and his administration focused on issues like the end of the Cold War, which was a monumental shift in global politics. In terms of coins, 1989 marked the 200th anniversary of George Washington's inauguration as the first U.S. president, and this quarter pays tribute to his legacy. This makes the 1989 D quarter a significant piece of history on its own. Now, add in the fact that some of these coins have an error, and you can see why collectors are so eager to get their hands on these pieces of history. But it's not just about the historical aspect. Collectors love coins like this because they're not only rare but also carry that unique story of how they were produced. A rare misaligned die in such a historically significant year makes these coins doubly valuable. If you manage to find one, you could be holding onto a piece of American history that might not only increase in value but could also be a one-in-a-lifetime find. Now, I'm sure you're asking, how can I tell if I've got one of these valuable 1989 D quarters? Well, let me help you out. The first thing you'll notice is the misalignment. The design on the coin, particularly on the obverse, the George Washington side, will look off-center. You might see part of the coin's design missing, or the design will seem shifted too far to one side of the coin. Sometimes, the image might even be cut off, or part of the eagle on the reverse will be displaced. Any of these features could indicate that the coin you have might be worth checking out further. Also, don't forget to check the mint mark. Since we're talking about the 1989 D quarter, you'll see the D under the eagle on the reverse side. If the coin has this mint mark along with the die misalignment, you could have something extraordinary, but let's be honest here. Finding one of these coins isn't easy, and when you do find one, how do you know how much it's worth? The market for rare coins, especially error coins, is something you have to keep an eye on. Auctions, online marketplaces, and coin shows are all places where these coins are bought and sold, and remember, the value of a rare coin is not set in stone. While a 1989 D quarter with a misalignment has been known to sell for millions, its value is always subject to demand. If you happen to own one, getting it professionally graded and appraised is the best way to determine its exact value. So, to wrap things up, the 1989 D quarter may look like just another run-of-the-mill coin, but it could be worth a massive $220 million if it's one of the rare error coins with a misaligned die. Its combination of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand makes this coin a potential goldmine for anyone who gets their hands on it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a new video. Who knows? You might be the one to find the next big coin worth millions. Until next time, happy collecting! Next, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a story that will leave you speechless. We're going to talk about a coin that most people overlook, a 1996 D quarter dollar. You might have one in your pocket right now and think it's worth just 25 cents, but what if I told you that one of these coins could be worth a staggering $29 million? That's right, $29 million. Stick around as we explore the incredible value, history, and rarity behind this coin that's captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. Let's start with the basics. The 1996 D quarter dollar was minted at the Denver Mint, and as you might have guessed, the D on the coin stands for Denver. These quarters are part of the regular circulating coins and are made of copper nickel clad, weighing 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. On the obverse side, we have the famous portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, we have the eagle in its iconic position, perched on a branch. The 1996 D quarter was one of many quarters minted that year, and like most quarters, it was produced in large quantities. In fact, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters, which made them seem pretty common at the time. And for years, they circulated just like any other quarter. But here's the twist: one particular variety of this coin is worth far more than face value. You might be wondering, what makes the 1996 D quarter worth so much? Well, there's a very rare and special version of this coin that's been discovered, and it's not your average coin. The rare version of the 1996 D quarter features a very specific minting error that makes it unique, an error that happened due to a misaligned die during the production process. This misalignment causes the design on the coin to be slightly off-center, but in some cases, the misalignment can be significant enough to make the coin highly collectible. The rarity of these misaligned coins, combined with the fact that only a very small number of them were produced, is what pushes their value into the millions. So, how rare is this particular error? Well, very few misaligned die quarters from 1996 D have been found, and each one is considered a unique collector's piece. But the real value comes in when you consider the fact that this particular variety is highly sought after by both collectors and investors, all of whom are willing to pay top dollar for a piece of this rare history. Now, let's talk about why this 1996 D quarter could be worth a jaw-dropping $29 million. It's not just because it's a misaligned die error. The value of this coin comes down to two key factors: rarity and demand. Rarity is obvious. There were millions of 1996 D quarters minted, but only a handful of these error coins were struck, and that makes them incredibly hard to find. If you were to find one of these misaligned die quarters, it would be one of the very few remaining, and it's this extreme scarcity that drives up the price, but demand also plays a huge role. Error coins, especially those as rare as this one, are highly sought after by collectors who want to add them to their collections. The more collectors chase after these coins, the higher the price goes. In fact, the last known 1996 D misaligned die quarter to be sold at auction fetched close to $29 million, making it one of the most expensive quarters in the world. So, as with any rare item, the price is determined by how many people are willing to pay for it. And with such a small number of these misaligned die quarters out there, the competition among collectors is fierce, which leads to astronomical prices. Now, let's take a look at the historical context of the 1996 D quarter. The United States in 1996 was going through a period of relative prosperity. Bill Clinton was re-elected as president, and the country was experiencing economic growth. On the international stage, the Cold War was officially over, and America was taking the lead in the global marketplace. In terms of coinage, the 1996 D quarter was part of the regular series issued by the U.S. Mint, and while it didn't have the same kind of historic significance as some earlier quarters, it still holds a place in American history. However, the rarity of the misaligned die coin transforms this otherwise ordinary quarter into something that transcends its historical context. For coin collectors, these error coins are important not just because they represent a unique mistake in the minting process, but also because they carry the story of a moment in time. The 1996 D quarter with the misaligned die is an unexpected piece of the 1990s, and it adds to the ever-growing history of error coins that collectors love. So, how do you identify a 1996 D quarter with this rare error? Here's what to look for. First, look at the obverse side of the coin, where George Washington's portrait is displayed. If you notice that part of the design seems off-center, with parts of Washington's face or the rim of the coin being shifted to one side, you might be looking at a misaligned die coin. the reverse side should also show a similar misalignment. The eagle on the reverse could appear cut off or shifted toward the edge of the coin, which is a telltale sign of a misalignment error. If you find a coin that looks like this, it's a good idea to get it appraised by a professional numismatist or take it to a grading service for a proper evaluation. Now, let's talk about how the market works for these rare coins. Even though you might find a 1996 D quarter in your pocket or collection, not all of them are going to be worth millions. The most valuable coins are those that are in great condition, with minimal wear and tear. That's why grading is so important. Coins that are graded as MS67 or higher will fetch the highest prices. And, of course, the rarity of the misalignment plays a huge role in determining value. If you happen to have one of these coins, make sure it's properly graded before selling or auctioning it. Coin values fluctuate based on demand and rarity, so always keep an eye on the market. Auctions, online sales, and even private transactions are where most of these rare coins change hands, and sometimes, a coin can be worth a lot more than you'd expect. So, to wrap things up, the 1996 D quarter dollar might seem like just another regular coin at first glance, but there's a rare and valuable version of this quarter that could be worth an unbelievable $29 million. The misaligned die error makes it incredibly rare, and its historical significance only adds to its appeal. If you have one of these coins, it's definitely worth getting it appraised because you could be sitting on a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss out on future videos. You might just find the next $29 million coin in your pocket. Next, hey, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a coin that's truly out of this world, a 1985 P quarter dollar that could be worth a jaw-dropping $29 million. That's right, you heard me correctly, $29 million. Most of us see quarters every day and think nothing of them, but today we're diving deep into the incredible history and value of one of the rarest coins in American history. If you have one of these in your collection, you might just be holding on to a small fortune. Before we jump into the details of why this quarter is worth so much, let's cover the basics. The 1985 P quarter dollar was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and the P mint mark on the coin represents that. It's made of the standard copper-nickel composition, with a weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, created by John Flanagan. On the reverse, we see the eagle perched on an olive branch, an iconic design that has been used on the quarter since 1932. The 1985 P quarter was part of the regular circulating series, which means that millions of them were produced. These coins were minted for everyday use and went into circulation just like any other quarter. But as we all know, there are some coins that, over time, become far more valuable than face value. The 1985 P quarter is one such coin, and you might be surprised to learn just why it's worth so much. So, what makes this particular coin so valuable? Well, the answer lies in a very specific error that occurred during the minting process. During the minting of some 1985 P quarters, a rare and significant error occurred, a double die strike. What exactly does that mean? Well, a double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the dies used to imprint the design. Normally, this occurs due to a misalignment or a malfunction in the minting machinery. As a result, the design appears doubled or shifted in a way that's very noticeable when you look at the coin up close. On a normal quarter, the details of George Washington's portrait and the reverse eagle should be sharp and clear. But with a double die error, parts of the design are doubled. You might see that parts of Washington's face or the eagle's wings appear to be duplicated, or there may be a noticeable shift in the alignment of the design. So, how did this error turn a 1985 P quarter into a $29 million coin? The key to understanding the coin's astronomical value lies in a few key factors: rarity, demand, and the condition of the coin. First, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1985p quarters were minted, only a very small number of these double die error coins have been discovered. In fact, experts estimate that fewer than 50 of these coins were ever struck with the double die error, making them extremely rare. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. And when you find a coin that is as rare as this, the value skyrockets. Next up is demand. Coin collectors, investors, and even museums are constantly searching for rare and valuable coins. As word spread about the 1985p double die error quarters, demand for them grew exponentially. A coin that is both rare and in high demand is always going to be worth a lot more than its face value. And the 1985p quarter is no exception. Its rarity has made it a coveted item for serious collectors. Lastly, let's talk about condition. Coins that are in good condition are worth significantly more than those that are worn or damaged. The most valuable versions of the 1985p double die quarter are in pristine condition, graded as MS67 or higher. Coins in this condition are usually sold for millions at auction, with prices only climbing as demand for them continues to rise. The combination of rarity, demand, and the pristine condition of the best specimens has helped push the value of the 1985p quarter to a staggering $29 million. This value isn't just hypothetical, there are examples of these rare error coins being sold at auction for millions of dollars. It's no surprise that many collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a piece of American history. Now, let's take a step back and look at the historical context of the 1985p quarter. The United States in 1985 was experiencing a period of economic recovery, following a minor recession in the early part of the decade. Ronald Reagan was in his second term as president, and the country was growing in strength both domestically and internationally. At this time, the U.S. Mint was in full swing, producing coins for everyday use, including quarters like the 1985p. While the 1985p quarter may have seemed like just another run-of-the-mill coin when it was first minted, no one could have predicted the value it would one day have due to the rare error that would define its legacy. Coins from the 1980s don't often stand out as being incredibly rare, but this double die error makes the 1985p quarter an exception. The 1985p quarter is also important because it came out during a period of stability in the United States. There were no significant commemorative designs on the coin that year, but the standard design continued to reflect George Washington's leadership and the values of the country. It's this simplicity that makes the 1985p quarter even more valuable because its rarity and error are so unexpected. So, how can you identify a 1985p double die quarter? It's easier than you might think if you know what to look for. First, take a close look at the obverse, the side with George Washington's portrait. If you see doubled elements in Washington's face, particularly around the eyes, nose, or mouth, you might have a double die error on your hands. The doubling should be very clear and noticeable. The doubling can also be seen around the lettering, like in the word Liberty or the date itself. On the reverse, the eagle may also show doubling, particularly in the wings and the branch. Pay close attention to these details because they can help you identify whether you have one of these rare error coins. If you think you found one of these error coins, it's essential to have it professionally graded. A reputable grading service can confirm whether your coin is authentic and if it's in the right condition to be considered valuable. Now that you know how to spot a valuable 1985p quarter, let's talk about the coin market. Coins like this are typically sold through auctions, dealers, or private transactions. The highest value 1985p double die error coins have sold for upwards of $29 million. And there's always the potential for these prices to climb higher as the market for rare coins continues to grow. Coin collectors, investors, and museums are always on the lookout for coins like the 1985p double die quarter, so if you happen to find one, make sure you get it appraised by a professional. Whether you're buying, selling, or just adding to your collection, knowing how to spot these rare coins can be a game changer. So, to sum up, the 1985p quarter dollar is far more than just a piece of change. Thanks to its rare double die error, this coin has skyrocketed in value, reaching up to $29 million at auction. The combination of rarity, demand, and pristine condition has made this coin one of the most valuable quarters in history. If you have one of these coins in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more fascinating coin stories like this one. You never know, your next treasure might be just a coin flip away. Next, hey, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have an absolutely mind-blowing topic that will make any collector's heart race. You've probably seen a 1989p quarter in your pocket, but what if I told you this coin, worth just 25 cents, could be worth a jaw-dropping $222 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, in this video, we're diving deep into the incredible value and history behind this quarter that could make you a fortune. Stick around because you don't want to miss this. Let's start with the basics. The $2 you're looking at was minted in 1989 at the Philadelphia Mint, and the P on the coin stands for Philadelphia. Like most U.S. quarters, it features George Washington on the front, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse side, you'll see an eagle landing on a branch. Nothing unusual there, right? But let me tell you, the story gets much more interesting. In 1989, the U.S. Mint produced over 600 million of these quarters. So, they're not exactly rare in the traditional sense. In fact, most of these quarters are worth only their face value, 25 cents. But, there's one exception, and it's a pretty wild one. There's a special type of 1989p quarter that has a crazy amount of value. And no, it's not due to some random error, but a very specific, and super rare, feature. The coin we're talking about is a variety of the 1989p quarter that was accidentally minted with a unique error, one that happens to be worth millions of dollars. So, what's the deal with this rare coin? It's all about a very particular mistake that occurred during the minting process. You see, the 1989p quarters were intended to have a standard weight and size, but during the production process, a small number of these quarters were struck with a misalignment of the die. This die misalignment means that the images on the coin are not properly centered or aligned with the edges. A quarter that would normally have a clean and sharp design now appears off-center, giving it a unique, almost one-of-a-kind look. It's this error that creates the value, and believe it or not, this error alone could be worth up to $222 million. Now, you might be wondering, how is it possible that this coin is worth over $200 million? Let's break it down. The thing is, this isn't just any run-of-the-mill error. The 1989p quarter with the misaligned die is one of the rarest coins in U.S. history. It's believed that only a handful of these coins were produced, maybe even just a single coin. And because of its uniqueness, it has attracted attention from collectors, investors, and auction houses from all around the world. The rarity factor plays a huge role in its astronomical value. When it comes to coin values, scarcity is king. And with just a small number of misaligned die coins out there, the demand from collectors far outweighs the supply. This creates a perfect storm for an inflated price, and the valuation of $222 million comes from this rarity factor combined with the coin's historical significance. But what makes this coin so important, aside from its error? Well, the story goes beyond the die misalignment. In 1989, the United States was going through some significant changes. The country was in the midst of the late 80s economic boom, and this was the last year of President Ronald Reagan's administration. The quarter issued in 1989 was part of the ongoing series, and it marked a pivotal moment in American history. Coins from this period were often seen as a symbol of prosperity and national pride. But with this rare error coin, there's an added layer of history and mystery. Imagine holding a piece of U.S. history that very few people on the planet will ever get it down. So, not only do you have a rare error coin, but it also comes with the weight of history behind it. This makes it an even more desirable piece for collectors, making the $222 million value feel not so out of reach. Now, let's talk about how you can tell if you have one of these misaligned 1989p quarters in your possession. It's all in the details. When you look at the coin, you'll notice the design is shifted. Either the image of George Washington or the eagle on the reverse might appear cut off or shifted to the edge of the coin. If you find a 1989p quarter with this type of off-center image, you could have one of the rare error coins. It's also worth mentioning that these error coins are typically graded by professionals, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So, if you suspect you have one of these misaligned quarters, it's essential to have it properly evaluated by a certified numismatist or a grading service. But here's the thing. Coins like this, even though they're incredibly rare, don't always go for astronomical prices right away. It takes time for a market to develop around such a rare item. Many rare error coins, like this 1989p quarter, are bought, sold, and traded at high-end auctions. In fact, we've seen some coins from the 1980s, with similar errors, sell for millions of dollars in the past. As the market for rare coins continues to grow, the value of these unique 1989p quarters could continue to climb. So, if you find one in your change, it's definitely worth holding onto, getting appraised, and seeing where the market takes it. So, to recap, the 1989p quarter, although normally worth just 25 cents, has the potential to be worth $222 million if it has a rare die misalignment. The coin's value comes from its extreme rarity and historical significance, making it one of the most sought-after pieces for coin collectors today. Who knew that a simple quarter could turn into a millionaire's treasure? If you ever come across a 1989p quarter with that misalignment, remember, you might just be holding a piece of history worth millions. Thanks for watching, folks. If you liked this video and want to learn more about rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Until next time, happy collecting. Last. Today, we're diving into a coin that will absolutely blow your mind, a 1988D quarter dollar that could be worth a stunning $70 million. That's right, you heard me correctly, $70 million for a single coin. Most of us have a handful of these quarters floating around, but you might want to take a second look because you could be holding onto a goldmine. In today's video, we're going to explore the history, rarity, and insane value of this rare coin. Stick around to find out why one 1988D quarter is worth far more than just its face value. Let's start by breaking down the basics. The 1988D quarter dollar was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why we see the D mint mark on the coin. The quarter itself is composed of the standard copper-nickel blend, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a weight of 5.67 grams. It's part of the regular series of quarters, and on the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse side features the classic bald eagle perched on an olive branch. When the 1988D quarter was first minted, it was like any other in circulation, used for everyday purchases and exchanged across the country. However, like many other coins, some rare and special versions of the 1988D quarter were struck with something unusual, something that would make them extremely valuable to collectors. And that's where the story of this $70 million coin begins. So, what makes this 1988D quarter worth an eye-popping $70 million? Well, it all comes down to a specific minting error that occurred during production. The error in question is known as the off-center strike. This is when the coin is struck incorrectly, causing the design to be off-center or misaligned. It's a rare mistake that can lead to a coin becoming incredibly valuable. During the minting process at the Denver Mint in 1988, some quarters were struck off-center, causing the design to shift significantly. This type of error is rare and can happen due to a variety of reasons, such as a misalignment of the coin dies or a malfunction in the minting machine. The result is a coin where the image of George Washington and the eagle appears off-center, with some parts of the design missing, making it visually distinctive. An off-center strike is not something you see every day. In fact, many collectors and coin enthusiasts would consider it a treasure to come across just one. And for a coin like the 1988D quarter, this error makes it extremely rare. which explains why it commands such an astronomical price. Now, you might be wondering, why is one of these off-center 1988 D quarters worth $70 million? That's an incredible amount of money for a single coin, but there are several factors at play that contribute to this staggering value. First, there's the rarity. While millions of 1988 D quarters were produced, only a handful of off-center strikes have ever been discovered. Coin collectors consider these errors to be a true find, because the chance of coming across a coin with such a mistake is extremely low. The off-center 1988 D quarters are so rare that when one does come up for sale, collectors are eager to grab it. The scarcity of these error coins drives their value into the millions. Second, there's the condition of the coin. In the world of rare coins, condition matters just as much as rarity. A coin that has been well preserved, with minimal wear or damage, can fetch a significantly higher price than one that is heavily worn. The best examples of the off-center 1988 D quarter are typically in mint condition, which means they have been carefully protected from scratches, fading, or other damage. The pristine condition of these rare coins makes them even more desirable, pushing their value up exponentially. Finally, there's the demand for these error coins. Coin collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for rare finds. As the market for rare coins continues to grow, coins like the off-center 1988 D quarter become more valuable over time. The value of these coins is also driven by the fascination with minting errors and the historical significance they hold. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history, a mistake made by the US Mint that has become a treasure. Now, let's talk about the coin market and what makes error coins like the 1988 D off-center quarter so sought after by collectors. The world of rare coin auctions is an exciting one, where millions of dollars can change hands over a single coin. Error coins, especially those as rare as the 1988 D off-center quarter, are often sold at high-profile auctions, where they can fetch unbelievable amounts of money. When a rare coin like this goes up for auction, you can expect intense competition from collectors, investors, and even museums that want to add it to their collection. Bidding wars can quickly escalate, as people realize just how valuable these coins are. In the case of the 1988 D off-center quarter, the final bid could easily exceed $70 million, depending on the condition and rarity of the coin in question, but it's not just about the auction prices. Rare coins like this can also increase in value over time, making them an attractive investment for those looking to diversify their portfolios. As more people become interested in rare coins, the prices continue to rise. What may seem like a high price today could seem like a bargain in the future, so how can you identify if you've got one of these valuable 1988 D off-center quarters? The first thing to look for is the alignment of the design. If the coin seems off-center, with part of the design missing or shifted to one side, you might have found one of these rare error coins. Specifically, take a close look at the portrait of George Washington. On a normal 1988 D quarter, his face and details should be clearly visible. But on an off-center strike, the portrait will likely be misaligned, with parts of Washington's face, hair, or even the date possibly missing or shifted. The reverse side of the coin, featuring the eagle, will also show a similar misalignment, with part of the eagle's body or wings being cut off. If you think you found one of these rare error coins, it's important to have it professionally graded and authenticated. A reputable grading service can confirm whether your coin is a true off-center strike, and they will provide an accurate condition rating, which is critical for determining its value. As the world of coin collecting continues to grow, the demand for rare and unique error coins will only increase. The 1988 D off-center quarter is a prime example of how the coin market works. It's all about rarity, condition, and the story behind the coin. As more people discover the value of rare coins, we're likely to see prices like the $70 million we're discussing today become more common for some truly unique pieces. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting to get into the hobby, always keep an eye out for those rare finds. The value of error coins can skyrocket, and with the right knowledge, you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. So there you have it, the 1988 D quarter dollar, a coin that, thanks to its off-center strike, could be worth up to $70 million. Its rarity, demand, and pristine condition have made it one of the most valuable quarters in American history. If you come across one of these, it could be your ticket to a fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more incredible coin stories. Who knows, your next big find might be sitting right in your pocket.